The problem of sex and uncontrolled sexual energy has been an issue ever since the beginning of civilization. Sex has been mostly inhibited by the religious background of civilization, and now, in our modern age, there's a mix between a nervous taboo and an overflowing sexuality where sex is pretty much implied everywhere. But what is the right way of dealing with this sexual energy? How do we conciliate the overflowing sexual energy with our own repressions? It's like, on one end of a rubber band, we have all the sexuality that we see in the movies, ads, internet, everywhere, yet, on the other hand, pulling us back into our own mind, repressing this energy, our unconscious is saying, you cannot feel this is too much. So, how do we handle it? The first necessary thing to do is to adopt an objective attitude towards sex, free from the traditional reactions of fear, of being prude and condemnation, as well as from the lure and glamour often artificially fostered by the media, by which it is generally surrounded. In the past, mostly religion and older customs recognized sex and sexual desire as a bad thing that is to be avoided and condemned if we would like to go to heaven or to reach spiritual heights. But sexual drive, like any other, is in itself neither bad or good. It is a biological function, and as such, as Roberto Assagioli says, it is not immoral but pre-moral. It's just something that is part of us. We can catalog it as bad or good, but it doesn't quite matter since it's part of our species. None of us would be here without it. It's present in all humanity, all cultures and all animals, except for the few asexual animals exceptions. Therefore, the objective scientific attitude towards the sexual drive should be twofold. We should, on one hand, eliminate the fears and condemnations which have the effect of repressing it into the unconscious, as psychoanalysis has demonstrated ever since the beginning of the 20th century. And this can be accomplished using more attention to your inner voice, and also, on the other hand, we should exercise a calm but firm control followed by an active process of transmutation whenever its natural expression is unwarranted. In other words, we should understand how to deal with it outside of the bedroom. Since our sexual energy can pop up anywhere, anytime, it's good that we learn how to handle it the same way. As you have an objective view of sex and its role as pre-moral, as a normal and natural function of humans and animals alike, you have to understand how sexual energy comes into the mix. Sexual energy is the natural set of feelings that we notice when we see, hear, or feel something that awakens our sexual nature. It can be only the result of hormones releasing, or it can be a distinct energy, or qi, as the Chinese call it, or it can be a mix of both. I guess we'll never truly know. What matters to us is that we have distinct feelings in our own bodies when our sexuality is awakening. And these are feelings that we can repress, control, let go, release, manipulate, transcend, or transmute. So this is not something that you feel and there's nothing that you can do about it. No, quite the opposite. We can use these feelings in all sorts of ways. The issue is that most people don't really know what they are feeling. They just feel the desire to have sex, and this desire then controls all their thoughts, behaviors, and emotions. They are truly not conscious of sexual energy as it appears in the body. Only a mysterious urge that pops up from somewhere and we feel the need to release it. But this energy, these feelings, can be controlled and manipulated to our own needs. The ability to manipulate this sexual energy is an important difference between humans and animals. They feel the sexual urge and immediately act on it, even if it's humping a leg of a human. We either release it by some kind of sexual act or we control it. The problem is that we unconsciously control it by repressing it. Very rarely that's the best and most productive use we can do with that energy. With so many other uses for this sexual energy, repressing it seems hardly the best road. So in summary, the sexual energy is the set of feelings that we notice when we see, hear, or feel something that awakens our sexual nature, which, in its normal occurrence, it's unconsciously processed by us in a repressive way, or it's released in some sexual act. Yet, there are other, better uses that you can give to this energy. How can we use the sexual energy for our purposes? The answer to the how is through transmutation. The first step is always to become aware of the sexual energy, to understand how it manifests in our body, what exact feelings does it bring up. Without this awareness, very little can be done. How can you use or control something if you don't know that it's there? Sure, there are more brute force approaches, but these are in fact not very elegant and you don't quite learn to have much control over it. There's a free course on the Charisma School website called Introduction to Sexual Magnetism that teaches you how to have this awareness and later how to allow it to flow. That's a great introduction and you'll for sure see a lot of changes in yourself by using it on a daily basis. Only by becoming aware of it and allowing it to flow, you already notice a lot of subtle things in the sexual energy inside of yourself. Then, after you get a good awareness, we can then initiate the process of transmutation. Transmutation is nothing more than using this powerful energy for a different purpose that we designed. Many people do this unconsciously. They transmute this energy into their own creative impulses or even direct it to have it more energy for working. This is usually done unconsciously. Very few people are aware of how to consciously do this. They just have an outlet of energy that they need to use somehow or get rid of. And some people do these unconscious transmutations, either release it, either repress it, developing a whole range of bodily and mental problems. And we'll take a smarter route. We learn how to use it for our own purposes. The exact methods of transmutation can be varied. Meditation, breathing, energy exercises, will exercises, many things can be used for this purpose. Now that you know what is sexual energy and you know there are methods for sexual transmutation, what exactly do we want to use this energy for? There are spiritual purposes for this sexual energy that are used mainly by the Taoists. These methods, like the drawing up the sexual energy at the moment of orgasm, have been quite popular in the West lately. Yet, people are doing it just for the sake of lasting longer in bed, which is definitely not a good use for it. These are powerful methods designed for spiritual purposes. So, either you are following the spiritual route with a knowledgeable teacher, or it's best to leave them alone. They can have negative consequences when not used correctly, and many people have experienced them. So it's not pleasant. And there are, of course, the normal uses of directing this energy to your work or creativity. Yet, my favorite use is to direct it to sexual magnetism. This means to exude your sexual energy to the outside so you can have a powerful sexual presence that attracts others to you. I'm sure you have been with people that seem to exude sexuality. You cannot help but think about sex when you are with them. They seem to draw everyone to them and they never have any problems in getting girlfriends or boyfriends. They have this sexual magnetism unconsciously. Yet, it can also be consciously developed. That's why we created the Sexual Magnetism Training course. It's specifically designed to teach you how you can become aware of the sexual energy and transmute it to magnetism and exude it to the outside in a way that you become similar to a true sex magnet, releasing sexual energy anywhere that you go. You can read more about sexual energy, sexual transmutation, charisma, and personal magnetism on the Charisma School website. Sign up for the newsletter in order to get the latest articles and videos delivered directly to your inbox. Visit charismaschool.com for more information.